When you're asked to solve a system of equations, one way to solve the system is by graphing. When you graph the system, you are usually not going to be able to get an exact answer, but it's helpful in finding answers for a system. So here's two equations that we need to find the solution for. Now, the solution to a system is where the two curves intersect each other, or the curve in a line. And when you're dealing with systems, the numbers of solutions could be 4, 3, 2, 1, or 0. 0 means the two systems don't have any points in common. If you looked at the graphs, there would be no intersection. So the solution to the system, the group of systems, a group of equations, is where the two intersect. Now, we've been studying in this chapter lots of curves. Hopefully you recognize that this is the equation of a circle. And the radius of the circle is 5, and the center of the circle is 0, 0. You should be able to notice that by inspection. So, a quick sketch of that, radius 5, center 0, 0, so I'm going to plot that, the radius 5, those points there, and then I'm going to sketch a circle as best I can here. Okay, so there's our first equation, and there's a graph of it. It's a circle. Now, here's the second equation. Do you recognize that? I hope you recognize that that's a straight line. There's no squared terms at all. So let's rearrange it. I'm going to move the y onto this side and the 2 over here. So I'm going to go 2x minus 2 equals y. And then I prefer to write it this way, y equals 2x minus 2. Now, there's a couple different ways you can graph the straight line. You can make an xy chart and just plug in some numbers. 0, if x is 0, you get negative 2. If x is 1, you get 0. If x is 2, 2 times 2 is 4 minus 2, 2, you get 2. 3 points is usually enough to get a good sketch. You can also graph this by knowing that the slope is 2 and the y-intercept is negative 2. Let's do that. Y-intercept, negative 2. 0, negative 2. Notice I have that same point. And the slope is 2, so that means up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. All right. Over 2, up 2. I'm just checking my points here. All right, so now if I sketch this line in there, you can see that this system has 2 solutions. The ordered pairs where we cross. Now, because I'm doing this by graphing, I really am going to estimate the 2 answers. So, estimating the 2 answers, this one is about 1, 2, 3, 4, over 3, up 4. This one looks to be over 1, down 4, negative 1, negative 4. Now, sometimes when you're doing this sort of answer, your estimate is a little bit off, but do the best that you can. The direction said to estimate here. To get exact answers, you have to solve the systems algebraically. Okay, here's another system to try to solve. Both of these systems have squares, so I could have 4 solutions to this system, because I definitely do not have a straight line going through a curve. So, but I still could end up with no solution, so let's try and identify what we have here. This one's the easiest. Do you know what this is? You should be looking at your notes. It's an ellipse. Let's sketch that ellipse first. Remember how to sketch it? It's centered at 0, 0. On the x-axis, how many points do I go over? Do you know? Think about it. It's an easy answer. I I go over 3. Right? That's my a squared. All right. How many points do I go up on the y-axis? I hope you said 2. All right? So, let's sketch this in here. So we have an ellipse there. Do you know what this curve is? That was a plus, I could say circle, but it's not a circle, is it? It's a hyperbola, and I need to change that a little bit. I should write it like this: x squared over 16 minus y squared over 16 equals 1. Now it looks like the hyperbola. Do you know if it's a hyperbola based around the x-axis or the y-axis? You should be able to look at your notes and figure this out. Minus is in the middle, x squared is first, which means it's going to be a hyperbola around the x-axis. And remember, we're solving by sketching, so I'm really not plotting a lot of exact points. So on the x-axis, I count out to 4. And I know, what do I know about that point? That's the vertex, right? And then it's going to go like this. On the y-axis, I'm going to count out to 4. And it's going to go like this. So right off the bat, how many solutions to this system? No solution. Now, if you want to be more exact, you could pick some definite points and use your calculator and figure out. I could put 5 in for x and solve that for y and figure out the exact point here so I could get a real close sketch. I might want to do that if I'm not sure whether these curves intersect or not. So this system has no solution. Now, sometimes you might have a system like this and you might have a line that goes right up through the middle and doesn't hit anything. So you need to do a little sketch. If you need more information, you can pick some numbers. Pick some numbers for x. It's usually the easiest. Pick numbers for x. And plug them in. You have a calculator so you can get those decimal answers and then you can get some closer estimates. But this section just asked you to sketch. The next section we do will ask us to specifically solve for the exact intersections. And I'll be showing you that soon enough.